Hi, my name is Joellyn and I am from the Dan Aaron Parkinson's Rehabilitation Center. In this presentation, we are going to talk about the how and the why of posture and its application to people living with Parkinson's disease. The goal of our discussion is for you to develop an understanding of what postural changes are likely to occur in people with Parkinson's disease and how that impacts daily function. But first, let's reflect. Have you ever caught sight of yourself in a mirror and been surprised at what you saw? Think of your posture at the start of the day, and then by the evening, how does it change? And how fatiguing is it to maintain your usual posture? The picture to the left depicts an ideal postural alignment. Imagine a line that runs from your head to your foot, starting at your ear, then through your shoulders, your hips, your knees, and then landing in the middle of your foot. In Parkinson's disease, if we start at the top, a forward head posture, as seen to the right, is often seen. In our talk on strength, we discuss rigidity of flexor musculature. Think of that here, as the head is drawn forward and down, bringing one's gaze to the floor. And when one wants to then look up, the lower vertebrae of the spine in the cervical area are staying flexed and the upper vertebrae are extended. This will further reduce the range of motion of the neck, making it more difficult to look side to side with rotation. So try that with me now. I'd like you to look down to the floor and then keeping your lower cervical spine down and flexed, look up towards the screen. Now try to rotate your head side to side. It may be uncomfortable and even difficult to do. Now, correct your cervical posture by making your neck as long as you can, tucking your chin back, and now do that same motion and notice the difference that you feel. As we move down to the shoulders, the tendency is for them to round forward. So let's try to feel that together. I want you to sit with me with your tallest posture. I want you to bring your arms to your sides, but point your thumbs outward so that the shoulders are open. Now let's try to round the shoulders by rotating your thumbs inward and bring your shoulder blades forward, okay, so that you're rounding down. Try now to reach your arms up overhead and release. Correct your posture by pinching your shoulder blades together, sitting tall, point your thumbs forward, and now try to bring your arms up and overhead. What do you feel? Try to hold that corrected posture now. In the trunk, you may see changes including leaning to the side or feeling that you're forward bent at the hips. This may be associated with weakness or tightness and rigidity. With muscular tightness in the trunk, the alignment of the pelvis can also change, where the abdominals become tight, rotating the pelvis back, rounding out your lower back. In this position, the hamstrings, the muscle in the back of the leg, may get stiff and tight as well. The hamstrings connect up at the hip and pelvis and also below the knee. And when they are tight there, they cause that knee to bend more. And therefore, you're standing in a crouched position as pictured here. Are you still in your corrected posture? If so, was it hard to do? If not, did you realize that you were slumping? Now, your posture can impact the quality of your movement. A slumped sitting posture can put you at risk for sliding off the edge of the bed. It can make it more difficult to scoot to the edge of a chair and make the transition to standing more challenging and tiring for your muscles. Posture can also greatly impact the quality of your walking. A flex forward posture, that forward lean, brings weight to the front of the foot and results in a shuffling gait. Because of that forward lean, it also may become difficult to stop movement abruptly, to lift your foot high enough to step over an obstacle, or to even make a turn without taking several steps. All of these changes can put you at risk for falls. Also, poor posture can lead to pain and discomfort. And unfortunately, pain limits activity and can reduce quality of life. But there are things which you can do throughout the day to address your posture. and consider them as exercises all throughout the day. Strengthening and stretching can absolutely and should absolutely be part of your daily exercise program. But think of your posture when you first wake up in the morning. Are you flexed or are you straight? Do your muscles feel relaxed or do they feel tight? Try to make a habit to do these stretches as pictured here before you get out of bed. Pulling the chin back, trying to create that double chin, gives stretch and also strengthens the cervical musculature to combat that forward head posturing. Clasping your hands, reaching them up over your head, gives stretch to the shoulders and greater extension and length to that upper back. Bending your knees and rotating your legs side to side, not also can release your lower back, but it's also a great warm-up to the movement of rolling to get out of bed. Start of the day can be difficult for many, especially when waiting for medication to kick in. So help that brain by giving it some external tactics to improve your posture. While on the move, lift your gaze up and keep eyes on the prize, if you will. When passing by a mirror, take that glimpse. What did you look like? Turn on some music that you enjoy and move to it. Being seated and being still brings our posture to rest. Music can be a motivator to activate those postural muscles, and you can use it at any time of the day when you feel that you need it. Midday tends to be when we're most productive, either by way of our jobs or if in retirement, our activities and our hobbies. But let's set your seating up for success. At your office desk, for example, is your back supported? When the back is unsupported, so if you're not all the way back in your chair, there is tendency to flex forward as pictured here. What is the angle at your hips and at your knees? And how are your feet resting on the floor? If seating is too low, it may be more difficult to sit with a corrected posture. You may be more slumped if your knees are higher than your hips. And if your seating is too high, where your feet are not in contact with the floor, you may be too uncomfortable and going into more extension. Also, where is your gaze? Is your screen elevated, be it the television or the computer? While sitting on the couch, have you considered your neck support? Placing a pillow behind your head can support the neck and improve posture. If the couch is soft, folding up a blanket to sit on can increase that firmness and reduce the amount of flexion that you get at the hips and the knees. Not only will you have better posture, but it'll be easier for you to stand up. If you tend to lean to one side when sitting, place the items that you tend to reach for the most on the opposite side. It's going to force you and engage you to reach in that direction. Check yourself when you're in standing, for example, at the kitchen or the bathroom sink when you're doing activities that require you to bend forward. Rather than standing with your feet side by side and parallel, try to bring them into a staggered stance, what we call a power stance in our clinic. Not only will you feel more supported and balanced, but it'll be easier for you to return to your corrected posture without feeling like you're going to fall backwards. Even if you have good posture and you're sitting or you're standing, it is still good to change positions. So set reminders, a Post-it on your desk, an alarm on a phone, or even a sneaky trick of setting a kitchen timer in another room so that you would have to stand up and go to turn it off. Also, try to make a habit of using what it is around you to assist your posture. For example, after lunch or finishing the last email that you have, stand up, bring your back to a wall behind you and stretch your arms overhead. Use that wall to remind you of what is straight and walk away from that wall with a bigger and better posture. And now we transition to the end of the day. When our batteries may be low, you may realize that your posture has declined, but you do not have the energy to correct it. Rather than finishing the day with poor posture, as pictured here, do try to consider the use of an assistive device. An assistive device does not have to be all or none in use. Work with your physical therapist to determine what piece of equipment is best for you and when. In this example, it could help your posture. It is also to help keep a schedule of what time is good to go to bed. If you're tired and you're structured, you go to bed. Avoid falling asleep in a chair. Look at the difference in these two postures. Above all, I wish for you to leave this lecture with the motivation to make good posture a habit. I know you can do it. Thank you so very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you for our next fitness break.